See, the idea of freedom, the idea of freedom definitely appeals to you. You want to be free. You want to be able to do whatever you want whenever you want. And a lot of people have this misconception about freedom. I also had this misconception about freedom. My entire life, I've dreamt of pure freedom. Being able to do what I want, whenever I want, however I want, with nobody having any checks and balances on me. But the reality of freedom is that you need to have discipline to be able to achieve freedom. I know Jocko Willink has a book or a saying that discipline equals freedom. And it took me a long time to truly understand what that means. And I hope that this video can help you understand the true path to freedom. The true path to freedom is not ignoring all of your tasks that you need to get done. It's not, being free to be able to wake up whenever you want, do whatever you want. That essentially is a byproduct of you being extremely disciplined with your time. With freedom, you need to have time. You need to be able to have time to be able to do what you want. And to be able to clear up that time, you need to be able to do what you need to do first and efficiently. You need to do what you need to do efficiently first before you can have the time to be able to be free to do whatever you want. And in order to be able to achieve this level of freedom, which is of your time, you have to actually ironically put in time to specific things that will move the needle in your life forward. Making more money, right? Being in shape. See, since a lot of you like to talk about fitness and you like when I talk about fitness, let's take it from a fitness perspective. I am free when it comes to my health and fitness. I can go eat whatever I want. Now, I wasn't able to do this in the beginning. I have to have discipline for a majority of the time to then open up a time window to be able to go consume foods that I want to consume, be able to go to a bar and eat wings and fries and go have a pizza if I want to. I have to have discipline for a majority of the time with my nutrition for a long period of time. Like I've been at the game for about 10 years in terms of fitness, right? There's been up and downs, right? If I were consistent with my fitness journey, it would have taken a lot sooner, right? But what I'm trying to explain is that with fitness, I've given myself a strong level of discipline for the first few years of my journey to where I now get to a point where I'm free to eat whatever I want and it does not negatively affect how I look or I'm not gonna gain fat right away. Like it takes time. It takes time in the beginning of pure discipline. And it's the same with your career. You have to put in enough time of discipline to be able to do what you know you have to do every single day to then achieve the freedom to be able to have the money to do what you want, right? Because with money, there also comes freedom to a certain extent, right? Obviously not if you're, in corporate. Even in corporate, you get to a certain level and you're managing people and it's less about you putting in the grunt work and you're now more optimized to be able to have more time to yourself because you have people working for you or working under you. You're a manager or you're a VP or you're, the CEO. And even then you may not even have enough time because you still have to build. You still have to have some level of discipline. And the reality is once you start structuring things correctly, once you start structuring your time, once you start being more efficient and getting your tasks done, you will earn the ability to be free. And there's a meta to being free as well, because what happens is most of the time people are not free in the sense of their thoughts. You're constantly thinking of, oh, I have this to-do list that I have to get done. I have this specific task I need to get done. Like, I still haven't gotten it done yet. And you're consumed by that. When you go out, let's say you go out to a party or you go out to the club or you go hang out with your friends, all you're thinking about are the things that you haven't done. You're not free. You're still trapped in your mind. You're still trapped in the tasks that you need to get done. See, when you're checking off every single thing that you need to get done throughout the day or throughout the couple of years that you've spent, you now free your mind to be able to enjoy the moment. See, being free, my definition is being able to enjoy moments. You can't enjoy moments if you don't get the task done because all that's going to do is just bog your mind with all of the things you should have done, but you didn't do in the name of freedom. You wanted to be free today. You wanted to be able to wake up whenever you wanted to and just mess around, and you claim to want to be free. See how that doesn't make sense? It's the same with fitness. You claim you wanted to look a certain way, you wanted to feel a certain way, you wanted to have more energy, you wanted to be able to enjoy yourself socially, but you didn't have the discipline to put in the work early to build up the reserves that you need so that when you do go and you're free to be able to eat whatever you want, you're not hyper analyzing on, well, I didn't go to the gym for this last month, I didn't eat correctly for this last month, so I can't eat this meal because if I eat this meal that I'm in a social setting with, it's gonna mess up my progress because I haven't actually put in the work beforehand. See, when you put in the work beforehand, you now clear your whole mind of all of the worries of you messing up or of you going backwards or of you really just being at a negative because you never put the positive reserves up. Being free is all about having enough reserves to where you can deplete those reserves doing things that ultimately feel like you're free. And I hope this makes sense to you because this is a meta point. You need to be able to clear your mind of all responsibilities that you have by getting them done in a disciplined time frame, right? If you want to make more money, well, you need to put in work, whether it's in your career or whether it's in your business early so that you can actually get the money and understand that, okay, I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish. Now I can go have fun, right? And now you're not thinking of, well, I could have done this, but I didn't do it. You need to make sure that your mental bank is clear. Your mental bank is basically even at a positive. Most people, their mental bank is at a negative because they chose freedom before they even did the discipline part of it, anything. You need to prioritize discipline. And as a man especially, you need to prioritize the discipline of your work, the discipline of your routine. You need to have that dialed in so that it can free up space for you to have that wiggle room in any aspect of life, right? You need that. If you don't have that, then there is no freedom. You will never have freedom. You will always feel shackled. You will always feel like you can't do anything. You can't move forward because you didn't actually put in the work consistently. You were taking shortcuts because you weren't disciplined. You need to be disciplined in life if you want to see the best parts of life. If you want to experience life at its highest level, which is freedom, that is life at its highest level is freedom. And most people that you see that are free now, you may see people on the internet, they're going to Dubai, they're hanging out, they have these nice cars, and you want to accelerate to that point without having the discipline of all the tasks that you needed to get done to then be mentally free and financially free to be able to do what you need to do, right? Same with physically free. You want to be physically free to be able to eat whatever you want and maybe, train less at a specific time, but you never put in the work beforehand. You didn't fill up your mental bank with positives to then go in and potentially have a negative, right? Same with money. You didn't build your bank up enough financially to then be able to be free to be able to spend some of the things that you spent because of the discipline that you had. So you always have to focus on discipline. Focus on the things that you need to do. Stop looking at the outcome. Stop looking at the outcome of freedom and start looking at the input. See? So we're going to talk about inputs and outputs. You need to be detached. And I always say it's detach yourself from the outcome, the output, and attach yourself to the input. Because the input is what's going to get you the output, which is freedom. Freedom is not the input. See, where you got confused was you started to look at freedom as the input. Oh, I need to be free. I need to have the time that I want. So I'm just going to make the time that I want. Like, I'm not going to do what I need to do because I need to have time to myself. Oh, I need, what do they call it? I need to be able to recover, work-life balance. Like, to be honest, there is no such thing as work-life balance. You're going to need to overemphasize on the work first so that you can then have the imbalance of not having to work and being free. You have to overload the input so that you can get a very nice output that is not mentally draining, that's not mentally taxing. You're constantly panicking. I used to be like this, where like I would have a certain level of tasks for the day, I wouldn't get it done, and then I'd go enjoy myself with friends, whatever, and I would be thinking about all the things that I didn't do. So ultimately, I was not free in that moment. Freedom is essentially being being there in the present moment. And you can't be there in the present moment if you're constantly thinking about the past, of how you messed up in the past. And if you erase that, then you're just going to continue to move backwards feeling like you're free until you get to a point where you have no other choice but to be disciplined. And I don't want you to get to that point. I want you to be disciplined immediately. I want you to start building foundations, building structures to your day to be able to get everything done so that you can actually enjoy yourself in the future. So that the future present moments are free. You're not shackled by the things that you didn't do. So if you really want freedom, you're going to put in the discipline. You're going to put in the work consistently to be able to free yourself of the thoughts that you'll have of what you could have done and overall the time that you have. Because what will happen is if you don't have that discipline beforehand, you're going to pay for it on the back end or on the front end in the future by having to put in that time. You're going to have to put in the time anyway. You might as well do it early. You might as well do it now. You might as well do the things that you don't want to do now so that you can do the things that you want to do in the future. So think about it that way. And you will see a lot of changes in your life. You will start to feel a lot more free when you're doing everything you need to do and you're seeing progress and you now are efficient to where you can give yourself time. This is in fitness, this is in money, this is also in relationships. Do everything that you need to do in that relationship. See, a lot of people want to have freedom in relationships. They want it to be easy, and it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy, especially for you as a man. It's not easy. You have to put in the work early. You have to put in that gruesome work early so that you can be free, especially in the relationship. You've put in the work. You've done what you need to do. Your partner is satisfied. And now you can be quote unquote free because you've put in the work. If you've never put in the work, you've never helped your partner. You've never done the things that need to get done for this relationship to thrive. There's no way that you're going to be free in that relationship ever. You're always going to feel shackled because you're always going to feel like, oh, well, I need to do this, or I haven't done this in the relationship, or I haven't done this thing that my partner really wants. This goes both ways. It's not just with men, it's also with women, right? You have to make sure that everything that you do is overloaded on the front end as a reserve so that on the back end, you're not suffering at a negative balance. So I hope this helped you to understand that you need discipline before you have freedom, because without discipline, you will never have freedom. You will always be mentally shackled by the things that you could have done. So comment, like, subscribe, send this over to a friend that needs to hear this, that is undisciplined with their time, but also figuring out why they never have time to do anything, why they're never free, because they don't get the things that they need to get done. And tap in. Check out Jacked University. Link is in the description. Private community. We talk all about this stuff. We help you get more disciplined as a man. We help you actually achieve your goals so that you can be free in the future. My goal is to have every man free. And that's what you deserve. You deserve freedom, but you need to earn it, right? And to earn it, you need to have discipline. So tap into the next video. I appreciate you. Let's keep it rolling.